Hi, Wranglers. How you doing? I got things a little dark today, for the fun of it. Anyway, like and subscribe. Tell your friends because we're talking about true crime and forensics today. Some of these people are just amazingly stupid when it comes to this stuff, and I know for this firsthand. I was a police officer for a couple of years, and I got to see criminals at their worst and their dumbest and stuff like that. Um, and it's rarely do you get cases like you see on forensic files. I never had one like that. There might have been a few in the town I worked in, but from time to time, but they're not common. And anymore, people watch these shows and then they think that they can beat the system. They can get away with it. Well, there's certain things you could do. Maybe you will get away with it. I hope you don't, because you'd be a bad criminal. But let's say you wanted to unalive Jane Doe, who you are married to, and run off with your girlfriend, Sally Smith or whatever, and start a new life. The last thing you want to do is get on Google and type in, "How do I, Neon Wrangler, unalive Jane Doe and run off with my girlfriend, Sally Smith?" Google something like that. Criminals are almost that bad, on their search histories. How to kill somebody. I saw one where this guy had Googled how to kill somebody with antifreeze, and he killed his wife with antifreeze, and he went to prison. And pardon me the K word, but yeah, he ended up going to prison for the unaliving act that he committed. And one of the reasons was because he Googled it, and then he would just randomly bring it up in conversations with other people. He'd be at work, and they'd be talking about, "Hey, did you see the sports ball game?" And yeah, that was some good sports, and I really enjoyed that sports. That the batter got lots of touchdowns and all that kind of stuff. And he would just walk up and say, "Did you know that if you give somebody a teaspoon of antifreeze every day for 10 days, they'll die?" Just out of the blue, he say stuff like this, and so he got busted. Another guy I saw on these forensic files, I could not believe it. He actually drew a diagram of the unaliving he wanted to do. He basically unalived an entire family and then set the house on fire. Well, he had made a desk blotter. Those desk blotters? They're big pieces of paper with little tabs that hold them down, and you can write stuff on them. He had done a very big sketch on his desk blotter of who was going to be shot. He drew stick figures and who was going to be powed and who was going to be strangled and stuff like this, and drew fire. Actually drew fire on the damn picture, and then basically he had committed this crime, and he took his desk blotter, wadded it, took it off. He was smart enough to do that. It wadded it up and threw it in the dumpster right behind his office. And when the police started investigating things, they kind of picked him out as a suspect right away, and they found that in his in his dumpster. It was a diagram of the crime, and they didn't ever release any details of the crime at all. They didn't even say it was an unaliving, intentional unaliving. They didn't say it was uh, you know, uh, somebody unalived themselves and their family or anything like that. They just said family perishes in fire, and but he had it all drawn out, and so that was one of the things that got him locked up. It's pretty amazing, and then how dumb some of these people are. It's literally there have been criminals who will make notes on their crime, how what they're going to do, and leave their notebooks sitting around their house. And then whenever the police come, they find the notebook with the steps of the crime detailed out, written down. Okay, that's pretty stupid. I'm sorry, it is. But so you see that happen, like bank robbery or something like that. It doesn't always have to be an unaliving situation. There's just a lot of really amazingly dumb people. And then the other thing is, DNA evidence. Okay, whether we try to or not, we're going to probably leave DNA evidence somewhere. Whiskers, skin cells, whatever, fingerprints. There's a lot of different ways to spread your DNA around, and that is going to be out there. But people will sit down and they'll watch forensic files, and then they'll think that they can get away with a crime, and they will copy something maybe they saw on there, and somebody got caught and went to prison, and they'll do the same thing, get caught and go to prison. I'm not saying we catch everybody that commits a crime, but a heck of a lot of them are dumb enough to make mistakes, and some of the mistakes they make are pretty amazing. And and they can be incredibly sloppy, as leaving your fingerprints laying around on surfaces and that kind of stuff. Sometimes it's just a flat out confession. One guy, he unalived his new wife, and he was going to run off with his girlfriend. That's kind of where I got to that anecdote from before, and she suspected that he was a dirty bird, so she got together with the cops, and he liked cheerleader outfits, and she put on a cheerleader outfit. Now she's probably in her about 51, I think they said she was. She wasn't horrid looking, but it didn't do anything. I mean, it wasn't like sexy or anything like that. It was just pretty average looking. And so they're sitting in his car, and she basically just said, "So, if this is going to go anywhere, our relationship, you need to tell me, did you have something to do with your wife's death?" And he just flat out says, "Yes, I did. I put this antifreeze in her food, and she eventually died from it." And he admitted it to her, just blurted it right out. And she had a wire on, and the police came and got him, and I guess he's in prison for the rest of his life. So there's just a million different ways you can screw up and do that. And even me being a police officer, I wouldn't want to. I mean, first of all, I don't have any desire to commit a crime against anybody. But let's say I was inclined to do some kind of crime like that, I still would be too nervous to do it because of all the stuff I see, how these people get caught. It's always something they don't think of. It's like one guy unalived his wife and said that she'd shot herself jokingly because she thought it was a joke. Thought his gun was unloaded, and she supposedly put the gun, the weapon to her skull and pulled the trigger, thinking it was unloaded, and it wasn't, and she was unalived. And then, but come to find out that, long story short, he had done this to her, and whenever he had finished he'd done this and basically left the body there, he had put the gun in the wrong hand of her hand. She was like right-handed, and he had put the gun in her left hand, and basically it didn't make any sense. And from what his description of what happened, and then he basically just got everything backwards and was dumb enough to do that. So you can go on. This is what I was watching with Forensic Files today. So anyway, excuse me. My advice to you is don't commit crimes. You'll get caught. I've seen it on TV, so that means it's real. And now you've seen it on the internet, so that means it's real. Oh, yeah, and we also, everybody knows, we found aliens or something. The military has basically come clean about saying, yeah, there's aliens out there and nobody cares, which is kind of cool. we got better things to worry about than the spacemen. If the spacemen wanted us dead, we'd be dead already. Anyway, guys, like and subscribe. Talk to you later. Bye.